In the heart of a bustling old city, there stood a train station that had once been the pride of travelers. Its walls were painted with murals of journeys. Its benches had carried countless stories of arrivals and farewells. But as years passed, a new modern station was built, and the one was slowly forgotten. Dust gathered on the ticket counters, spiders weaved webs in corners. Silence replaced the once cheerful sounds of voices and whistles. Yet, in the forgotten station, a little kid named Milo had made its home. Milo was no ordinary kid. He was born in that station. His mother, a stray who had found shelter under a broken wooden bench. As a kitten, Milo would chase shadows on the walls, curl up on discarded coats left by hurried passengers, and watch trains come and go with eyes full of wonder. The old station was more than just walls to him. It was his world, his comfort, his safety. He believed he would live there forever. One morning, however, things began to change. The city council decided to restore the old station into a museum. Workers came with tools and machines. Their footsteps echoed loudly. Their voices filled every corner. Walls were repainted, broken benches removed, and every hidden space Milo loved was slowly taken away. Other stray cats fled at the first sign of noise, but Milo stayed. "This is my home," he thought. "I was born here. Surely they will leave me some corner to live in." He clung to hope, watching helplessly as piece by piece his beloved home disappeared. And then the day came. The workers entered the waiting hall, Milo's favorite place. They carried out the last broken bench, the very one where his mother had once kept him warm. Milo's heart ached. He mewed loudly, circling the empty floor, but there was something left for him there. With heavy paws, he walked out of the only place he had ever known. For the first time in his life, he stepped into the busy city streets. The world outside was overwhelming. Bright lights, honking cars, people rushing everywhere. The air smelled strange, and every corner was filled with sounds he had never heard before. Milo felt small, lost, frightened. Why did life take my home away? He thought. What did I do wrong to deserve this? For days he wandered. He searched for scraps near restaurants, hid under cars during the rain, and curled up in airlays at night. Loneliness weighed on him more than hunger. But Milo did not give up. His mother's word, once whispered in his memory, came back to him. "When the ground beneath you shakes, remember, my little one, your paws are made for walking. Your heart was made for courage." And so he kept walking, one paw after another, one day after the next, until one evening, following the smell of flowers carried by the wind, he reached the edge of the city. Before him lay a place he had never imagined, a wide, peaceful park with tall trees, soft grass, and a gentle stream flowing under the evening sun. Children laughed in the distance, birds sang from the branches. The air carried the freshness of life. Milo stepped onto the grass, feeling its softness under his tired paws. In a quiet corner near the stream, he saw a hollow tree trunk, safe, warm, perfect for a new home. With renewed hope, Milo began to settle. He found friends, other cats, squirrels, even kind people who shared food. He chased butterflies across the fields, drank cool water from the stream, lay under the shades of trees, watching stars sparkle in the night sky. One morning, as the golden sun rose, Milo curled up in his cozy new home and smiled. He realized something profound. If the old station had never taken from me, I would have never discovered this paradise. What I thought was an ending was only a beginning in disguise. Life only pushes us out of the places we feel safe. It takes away the walls we once thought would protect us forever. In those moments, fear and pain can blind us. We wonder why everything familiar is slipping away. But endings are not always losses. Sometimes they are silent invitations to explore a bigger, brighter chapter of life. Do not fear new beginnings. They may feel uncertain, even painful, but they often lead us to places more beautiful than we ever dreamed. So, life closes one door, trust another is opening. Walk through it with courage because your next beginning might just be the most wonderful journey of all. How a dwarf couple found true happiness. There was a village called Safapur, nestled between wildflowers, fields, and gentle hills. Among its many cottages was one made of smooth river stone, with doorways lower than the rest, and windows that framed the sky more than the streets. That home belonged to Basit and Fazana, a dwarf couple. They were different, yes, but never bitter. The village children loved to visit them for their stories, and travelers left with jars of Fazana's honey and Basit's carvings in their pockets. If a window was broken or a heart was heavy, the couple would arrive with the help and a smile. No one could remember ever hearing them complain. Their son, Safir, was born just like them, short in height, but with wide eyes that always seemed to search the horizon. As Safir grew, he became quieter. At 10, he stopped playing outside. At 12, he began to avoid mirrors. At 13, he finally said it. Why did Allah make us like this? The question hung in the air like smoke, not angry, just heavy. Basit put down his chisel. Fazana wiped her hands on her apron and sat beside their son. Come, Basit said, walk with me. They strolled through the small garden. The fig tree's leaves rustled above them. The sun dipped behind the hills. Safir kicked a pebble and said, everyone else reaches shelves without stools. They run faster. People stare. Some laugh. Basit bent and picked up the pebble. Do you see this stone? Safir nodded. Would you complain that it is not gold or that it is not a star? Safir shook his head. Basit smiled. But it holds the earth together. Without stones, rivers flood, trees fail, roads vanish. Not everything needs to shine to matter. Fazana joined them, placing a flower gently behind her son's ear. Did you know your barber was once offered a job in the city? Big money, tall buildings, but he said no. Why? Safir asked. Because happiness was already here, Basit replied, pointing at their home. Here I carve spoons for people I love. Here we grow lemons and laughter. Why do somewhere just to stretch my height when my joy already reaches the sky? Fazana touched Safir's hand. Some people wait their whole life to be taller, richer, more noticed, and while they wait, they miss the blessings already sitting at their table. She smiled. Our roof may be low, Safir, but the sky lives within us, these walls. Safir looked up. The stars were beginning to blink alive. He thought of the children who begged for his mother's herbal oil, the travelers who asked his father for tiny wooden prayer beads, the neighbors who knocked just to share good news. He thought of laughter, of peace, of the fig tree, of how small things carry big beauty. That night, he didn't sleep, wondering how to become taller. He slept thinking about how to become more like them. Friends, gratitude is not about settling, it's about seeing the beauty not beyond your reach but within your grasp. Happiness does not always wait in the distance. Often, it is already sitting quietly at your table. So, do not compare your life to others. Do not wait for a perfect tomorrow. Cherish what you have today. Because true happiness is not about size or wealth or fame. It's about love, kindness, and gratitude. Think about it. Every day, we are surrounded by things that we take for granted: the smile of a loved one, the comfort of a warm meal, the roof that shelters us, or even the air we breathe freely. Yet, so often, we overlook these blessings because our eyes are fixed on what we do not have. We say, I'll be happy when I get that job, when I buy that car, when I live in that house, when I achieve that dream. But in chasing tomorrow, we forget to honor today. True gratitude shifts your perspective. It reminds you that happiness is not found in perfection, but in presence. When you choose to be grateful, you begin to see ordinary moments as extraordinary gifts. Imagine two people standing in the same rain. One complains about getting wet, while the other smiles, feeling the freshness of the drops. The rain is the same. What changes us? Everything is perspective. Friends, life will never be without cracks. We all carry struggles, scars, and imperfections. But instead of letting them make you bitter, let them remind you of how far you have come. Gratitude transforms wounds into wisdom, loss into appreciation, and obstacles into lessons. When you wake up in the morning, you have two choices: to dwell on what's missing or to celebrate what's present.